tenants, we want you to know that we pay our bills promptly. Here then, Mr. Prime Minister, I want to present you with one peppercorn payment in full for the first year's rent. I thank you very much.
Near Alice Springs and its sacred Aboriginal sites is the Pine Gap base, which tells the Americans what the Russians are doing in Europe. Not surprisingly, the Russians have indicated that Pine Gap is a prime nuclear target. A peppercorn is therefore a bargain price to pay for positioning Australia in the front line of a nuclear war on the other side of the world. The Prime Minister, Bob Hawke, has projected himself, or rather his media image, as truly a man of all the people. Indeed, when he came to power, his Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, Clyde Holding, spoke of land rights as a restitution for white Australia's genocidal past, a final healing of the wounds. A National Land Rights Act was to be drafted at last, one, it was hoped, without strings to snatch the land back. But mining was the catch. During the 1984 election campaign, powerful mining interests conducted an openly racist campaign which included TV commercials with a black wall built across Western Australia. In October, in the critical weeks before the election, the state's Labor Premier, Brian Burke, met Prime Minister Hawke. They talked about the problem of land rights and marginal seats and of being fair to mining interests. After the meeting, Hawke effectively cancelled Labor Party policy which would have given Aborigines the right to control resources on their own land. A starring role is said to be Bob Hawke's dream for the 1988 bicentenary celebrations, which for the Aborigines may well be a nightmare. This was Botany Bay in 1970. On the other side of the water, the whites were celebrating yet again the coming of Captain Cook. At the next celebrations, the Aborigines may not be satisfied simply with expressing their grief.
Well, every 26th of January I mourn in my heart, because as far as my experience with colonisation, I've pretended outwardly it's good. I've learned to speak the language that I was taught. I've learned to dress and live the way that made other people happy, but I had to sacrifice my desires, my ways, my culture.
You can go ahead and celebrate your 200 years, whatever, settlements. I'm just going to wander down the bush and do what I want to do.
Well, I don't see how Aborigines could have anything but antipathy towards the 1988 celebrations unless their sovereignty in this country had been assured. I mean, how on earth could Aborigines